in the flesh in studio. Ernestine, welcome to IMC.
Thanks for having me.
This is a bad idea.
Here we go. Here we go.
I am about to lose my first debate ever on this show. And look what she's already done to me, and I didn't know this was coming. She has upstaged me on Black Friday. She's in all black.
It's Black Friday. Isn't that what you have to
Y'all
say?
playing.
I got no shot.
Y'all playing
shot.
Ernestine, you planned it. You didn't plan this.
No, I didn't plan it, but, you know, it's the Johnny Cash thing. You know, you got to go out fighting.
She's Mrs. Cash.
I'm Mrs. Cash today.
Yeah.
She's also a published author. Congratulations.
Thank
have
you very
a
much.
book coming out today.
I do, today.
On Amazon.
On Amazon.
It's called Balls, How to Keep Your Relationship Alive When You Live with a Sports-Obsessed Guy. So let's jump right into it. I imagine there was a little inspiration in your own household, but why'd you write this book?
There was. I know nothing about sports. I knew nothing about sports. I do know a whole lot about sports now. But 14 years ago, when I met this lovely man, I absolutely had no idea what sports was. I did not come from a sports family. My dad liked baseball occasionally. My brother liked soccer, but I had never been to a football game in my life. And to this day, I still have not been to a football game in my life. That is the truth.
You won't be going because he doesn't go either.
That is also the truth. And so
Well, you did go in the marching band, right?
That's true. The closest I ever came to being at a football game was I played clarinet and I was in the marching band. So that was the closest I ever came to being at a live football game.
So, quick story. I'm at a show called Cold Pizza. She and I had each gotten out of long-term relationships shortly before this happened, and you were working at a big PR firm in New York City. That show was based at 34th and 8th in the old New Yorker Hotel in the basement, and she, as a PR executive, brought
Kevin Dillon from Entourage, and so I had
to be on Cold Pizza.
I booked Kevin on Skip's show, and I said, oh, I'm going to go. And I walked into the green room, and then this guy passes the door by and backs
But why
up.
did the guy pass by? For the first and last time in my career, because you can attest to this, I left my notes for our final segment in my dressing room. Never done it before or since. So this is meant to be. I literally ran, because we have 3 minutes or so, ran down a long hall past the green room toward my dressing room. And as I passed, she waved, hi. And I stopped in my tracks.
But this was the funniest story. Before the past relationship I was in, he would watch sports, and he was at my apartment one day watching the game, and then he had a show on. And I said, hey, what's that show that you're watching? He said, oh, these two guys debate each other. He said, this guy is really good, this guy's an idiot. And the idiot was Skip. And I remember,
he was watching Cold Pizza.
Yeah, he was watching Cold Pizza. And I remember thinking, well, he's kind of nice looking. And then it went out of my head.
I have 30 seconds when I stop and look at her, and I think I said, do I know you?
Yeah, he said, do you know me?
I'm Ernestine. And I'm like, yeah, and she handed me her card. She said she lived at 50.
Well, he was getting me so confused and nervous. He was interrogating me within 2 minutes.
This is in 30 seconds.
He said, hi, where do you live? Who are you here with? And I was so confused. I lived at 52nd and 1st. I'm like, I live at 51st and 2nd. And I was so out of my head. And then he said, well, I have to go. And I said, well, if you ever need PR, here's my card. And so I gave him my card.
And the rest is history.
And later
it was love at first sight. Literally first sight. So we end up soon going on our first date. And I've told this story before, and she despises the story, but I told her right out of the box because I knew this had a chance to go somewhere.
So we go to First Avenue Pizza Place, a whole wheat pizza place.
And I said, hey, if this ever goes anyplace, you will always be 1A in my life because I'm married to this, as you know. And little did she know how married I am, as you know, to watching games.
Well, he told me, so the first night after we emailed for 2 weeks, he said, why don't you call me tonight and we can speak on the phone? I just have to watch a Yankees game. And I thought, oh, that's nice, he's watching a Yankees game. Then I didn't know the magnitude of him watching sports. He said, well, I watch sports. And then it was sports and sports. And so after that, I said, how am I going to deal with this guy? And my mother, who was from the Lower East Side of Manhattan and had lived many years, she said, listen, this guy is a good guy. She said, if he wants to watch a game with you, he doesn't want to go to Hooters, he doesn't want to hang out with his friends, why don't you just watch the game? That. So I said, okay. But then one game became another game, and after that, the book came out of, because I've learned so much about dealing with a guy who loves sports, and all of the women that are out there that have guys that are like Skip, but only mine is magnified by 1,000%. I have tips and tricks along the way of how to keep it alive.
And the most tips and tricks come from my jinx demons, because I got them. You have some working.
I do.
And by the way, the 1A thing, which always gets me a little antsy here, I have become number one, and the job has become 1A.
Hey.
So let's
Yeah, there you go, Ernestine. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm not living. I'm not living in the Father knows best days here. I'm not no subservient woman. So this is number one.
I will concede that.
Thank
to
you. Okay.
Before we
Appreciate
get into
that.
the clashing that is about to ensue,
Here we go.
because she still doesn't get the jinx rules. The first huge violation came last year in the playoffs. The Tom Brady at my homeboy game in the AFC Championship game. What happened early in that game? It's already 7-0 New England, and New England is driving and winds up with 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. What would Tom Brady not do in that circumstance?
Turn it over.
So what does she know? I told her I need 3 hours. This is it. This is our biggest game. We're going to lead with this, right?
Yep.
Although then something happened in the Saints game that we kind of preempted that. But the point is that it's 3rd and goal from the 1, and I told her, just don't bother me. Don't open the door. I'm in my room watching my 2 TVs, but this time it's just one big TV. And she opens the door right on cue and sticks her head in and says, hey, I got this. Did I give you this letter? I don't know what this letter is.
There was a certified letter that came to him, and I found it, and it was on the weekend, and I said, oh, my God, this is an important letter.
So,
he needs this letter.
As God is my witness,
That was the only
I
reason.
go like this. No.
Right.
And I barely get the no out. And Tom Brady raises up and throws it right to Reggie Ragland, the linebacker for Kansas City.
Good job,
Look
Ernestine.
at this. He throws it right to Reggie Ragland.
Right.
Rookie from wasn't he a rookie last year from Alabama?
No.
He's second year.
Yeah.
So he hits him, and I fall on the floor, and one of our biggest fights ever ensues, and I still haven't gotten over it. She gets over it a lot faster than I do.
Once again, I say, Skip, how can I change that game? Because I opened the door? This is insane.
She always says, I'm in Century City in Los Angeles, and just because I opened a door, it changed the game in Kansas City? Yes, it changed the game in Kansas City.
And then we have Hazel, our little Maltese that we love. It's his daughter. All of a sudden, I'm in the house looking for Hazel, and Hazel disappears. And then I hear Hazel. I can't find her. And then I go towards Skip's room. Hazel's in with Skip. And then I realize, and I hear him saying, okay, just sit here. It's okay. Okay, watch the game with me. He uses her like a little four-leaf clover, a little Buddha. So Buddha girl is in there, and only when the game starts losing, his team is losing, he boots her out and then shuts the door. And she's scratching at the door. She wants to get back in, but
so this has happened so many times that I keep telling her it works or it doesn't work. So what just happened a week ago last night? Opening Thursday night, Green Bay at Chicago. I had picked Chicago. You had picked Aaron Rodgers.
I did.
And I unfortunately picked Mitchell Trubisky, but that's a whole nother story. So Green Bay, the first 3 possessions in the first quarter, goes for a grand total of minus 19 yards. You remember this?
Yep.
So first possession of the second quarter, it's 1st and 10 at the 25. I had told her, she said, do you want me to fix your dinner? And I said, sure, but she knows the rules. Bring it at halftime, or at least wait until the quarter's over.
We also live on New York time, so when I say to him, hey, I'm in the kitchen, hey, do you want your dinner? I'm going to make something to eat. It's 5 o'clock. Well, yeah, it's 8 o'clock. And I'm like,
we live on New York time because we have to. I get up at 2 o'clock, but I look at my watch.
So I'm living in a parallel universe along with the jinx world.
Okay, so what happens? She comes barging in the door, and I turned to her and I said, watch what's about to happen. I told you, as God is my witness, I said, watch what's about to happen.
I changed
and Aaron
the game.
Rodgers takes the snap. They do a little fake reverse action, if we could see this play. And he throws like the equivalent of a punt, like a Hail Mary, and it goes up in the sky and down, and all of a sudden it comes right down to Valdez-Scantling for the game-breaking completion of the game. Did it not break the game open?
It
did. And I said, look what you just did.
How can
look
I
what
change
you just
the game?
did.
She
did it. She did it.
You had no idea how powerful
See?
you are.
I?
You need to start bidding yourself out.
I deal with this man for 2.5 hours a day. And I'm exhausted. When I leave here, I'm exhausted.
I know.
How you've done this for 14 years.
I don't know.
For 20 plus hours a day.
There is a sainthood. There is a sainthood for me somewhere.
There is. She is saintly.
Oh, my God. The jinxes and the craziness.
Her biggest compromise, she kept trying to like football. She has a hard time with football. It's a little too complicated. Plus, they wear helmets.
I can't see the faces.
She can't see the face.
I can see the butts.
But guess
the butts
what happened?
Are great. The faces
you know,
I can't see.
I'm a lifelong Spurs fan.
Right.
So she started watching Spurs, and then she started watching NBA. And she fell in love with the NBA because you can see faces and physiques.
And the only way that I can actually sit 4 hours through a game is I came up with this little concoction idea. I pick out the cute guys. So the cute guys give me a reason to watch the game. So now I've invested. Yes, I've invested my time. So then I sit with Skip, and then I really like a couple of guys, and I'll say to Skip, "Hey, it's a really important part of the game. Hey, is he married?" Yeah, he's married.
And she got to know all the Spurs backstories.
He's married.
Tim Duncan was married, but now he has a girlfriend.
When you're watching the game with him, can you root against his team?
Well, if we turn to a certain player, I can, like as in Kawhi. Kawhi is one of my favorites.
I can't believe you just said his name.
Oh, God. Oh, no, I will not say what you call him is number whatever.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Because I am so out, as we just talked on number 2, and she still loves him.
I love him. He was a Spur. He was amazing.
So we fight about this constantly.
Well, see, that's how it look. You cannot sit with me and root against somebody I'm rooting for. You got to go. You got to go. So I get that, Skip. You know, you can't sit. Whoa.
Well,
we're in this together. We're a team.
But I tone it down. I don't really.
You undercover root.
I go in the other room and I'm rooting. I do. And
but
even
the only rule is if she's watching a Spurs game, especially a big one or a playoff game, if she starts watching, she can't stop. She can't leave because if they get off to a good start, I always ask her before, are you going to stay? Do you want to watch? Because I'm happy for her to watch.
I have to make sure that I've emptied my bladder before I go, because otherwise I say to him, well, if I have to go to the ladies' room, I'm sorry, no, you have to stay.
They're 18. We got to.
Yeah, Skip, that's a bit much. I thought I was a bit over the top. Yeah, Skip, you might be a little bit too much.
These